Well, it's been a while since I've done one of these. Good old PBR with Nate. As you can see, the background. And, of course, the obligatory beverage. But, I don't know. I've fought with myself over and over again. Should I do one? Should I not do one? The divisiveness we're going through and this, that, and another and whatnot. But there's some things I just kind of can't contain. We're under the threat of Marxism. I can remember in my lifetime, which I'm fairly young. Some of you little shits would call me old, but I'm fairly young. I'll be 48 in a week, less than that actually. So I can remember in my lifetime when we fought against Marxism, when that was our goal was to tamp down Marxism around the world. We fought an entire Cold War against the Soviet Union. I remember when Reagan said, "Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall." And for some reason, we have decided that we are going to, as a popular culture and as a society, is to embrace Marxism through various critical theories. And I say through various critical theories because critical theory is a tool of Marxism, and it goes way back. You can look it up. I'm not going to sit here and spend the time to go through the history and everything else of critical theory or critical race theory or a lat crit or whatever else. I'm not going to do that. You should do the due diligence yourself and look up critical theory as it applies to Marxism. And you will see that that's what's happening. As a matter of fact, the critical race theory teaches that you have the oppressor and the oppressed, which is from critical theory, the oppressor and the oppressed. Critical race theory teaches that the white people, the white race, the white whatever, are the oppressors, and that the African Americans, blacks, whatever you want to call them, are the oppressed. And unless you absolutely overthrow the oppressors and replace them with something else, which would, I guess, be another form of oppression, then, you're a racist or whatever. And that actually Dr. King himself was a mental colonialist because his mind had been colonized by the oppressors and he didn't go far enough. And this is all documented. And like I say, I'm not going to sit here and go through it. If you believe this stuff, you believe it. I'm not going to try to force you into anything else. I'm just letting you know that the basis of it is an absolute Marxism. So we are under attack from that as a society. That in which we used to fight against. Now, on other parts of the world, now we are fighting against in our own country. So it is an absolute attack on liberty. It's an absolute attack on the Constitution. It's an absolute attack on the Declaration of Independence. Where it said all men are created equal, not by the thing, but by the Creator. So we are endowed with those inalienable rights by not the thing, by the Creator. So those things are absolutely emblazoned and burned onto our souls. So that is being attacked. We are now trying to resegregate everybody, which has always been a tactic and a tool of a certain political party. I won't mention any names, but it's always been a tactic and a tool of a certain political party. So now we're resegregating based upon, whiteness. Now whiteness is the evil. But we still want to classify everybody into certain sectors. They want to classify Black Americans. They want to classify Latin Americans. They want to classify the LGBTQ plus. They want to classify females. Excuse me, I can't say females or women. I have to say birthing people and non-birthing people. We want to classify things that way, and we want to use preferred pronouns and whatever else. We want to pigeonhole everybody. We can't just say Americans. We can't just say human beings. We have to classify everybody. We have to say middle class. We have to say upper class. We have to say poverty-stricken. We have to say any of them. We have to say those things in order to pigeonhole everybody so that we can single everybody out and make one class more oppressed than others so that some sort of political gain can be had. Why can't we all just be Americans? Why can't we all just be human beings? I don't understand. And I don't understand that. Like I said, the Declaration and the Constitution guaranteed us certain unalienable rights. We have 10 amendments. And listen, there are going to be those of you out there that say, well, the Constitution, it was by a bunch of slave owners and this, that, and other, blah, blah, blah. You can all kiss my ass. Because I tell you this. When it said, we the people, in order to form a more perfect union. At the time, it wasn't perfect. And what we are striving to do now is to continue to make it a more perfect union. Understand this. If it had not been for a crap load of white people fighting the Civil War, slavery wouldn't have ended. A crap load of white people. If it hadn't been for Abraham Lincoln signing the Emancipation Proclamation, who also happened to be a Republican, slavery wouldn't have ended. We wouldn't have Juneteenth. We wouldn't have any of that. So, and you try to erase Abraham Lincoln because, well, he wanted to send all the slaves to Liberia. No, he might have mentioned that. There was a lot of ideas that he had, trying to hold this union together. This is the greatest country on the face of the planet. This is the freest country on the face of the planet. This is the most liberty-having country on the face of the planet. And so the Don Lemons out there that think that, most of Americans don't think of black people, or especially gay black men, as being fully human, while you're sitting there in your multi-million-dollar home in front of your $100,000 refrigerator, cooking on your thousands and thousands of dollar cooktop with your white husband. I'm going to let that sink in. Just for a minute. No, we don't think you're human at all. You have the cushiest job at CNN. While I'm sitting there busting my ass every day, twisting wire nuts with arthritis in my fingers, arthritis in my knees, with a bad disc in my back, and everything else, and I'm going to have to work until the day I die. I'm going to be, good Lord, I'm going to have to call in on the day I die just so I get my last check. As a Caucasian American. So, Somebody please tell me how all this critical theory works out. Somebody please tell me how I'm an oppressor when I love every person I come across. When I give hugs to all my coworkers. I don't care if they're black, white. I don't care if they're fucking fuchsia. These are my brothers in arms. And seriously, that's guaranteed by the Constitution. What they're talking about is equity, which that means equality of outcome. And that's a dangerous, dangerous word. What that means is that no matter what sort of effort you put into it, that means that everybody gets the same outcome. So that if I put in 1,000% and my neighbor puts in 50%, we get the same outcome. Marxism. Equity, that's what it is. Communism, Marxism at its finest. So please, 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 look, I don't care what political party you're identified with. I don't care if you're liberal. I don't care if you're leftist. I don't care if you're Republican. I don't care if you're Democrat. I don't care if you're constitutionalist. I don't care if you're libertarian. I don't care what you are. Pay attention to what's going on. This critical theory crap is going to poison the minds of our children and teach them that there are two classes, oppressor and oppressed. And as long as we're doing that, we're no better than Stalin. We're no better than who's a fucker in Cuba. I don't even care what his name was. We're no better than Mao in China. Castro in Cuba. We're no better than Mao in China. We're no better than any of those folks. Genocidal is what we will be. So as long as we're teaching oppressor and oppressed, we're done for. Please, please pay attention. If you're an American and a patriot at heart, and I know a lot of my Democrat friends are, pay attention to what's going on, please, please, for the love of God. Because this critical theory crap and things such as that is absolute, abject communist Marxism. And if that's what you want, keep voting that way. But I'm asking you patriots, I'm asking you that gave those oaths to defend the Constitution, to please defend the Constitution with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. There again, it's been PBR with Nate. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, great. If you didn't, I don't really care. Cheers to all of you. America, damn it.